Okay, folks, this is Bill McGoldrick again, back once again. They are gluttons for punishment for having me here, I guess, and hopefully you're learning something along the way. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over the past episodes. This is episode 4, by the way. And because it's all on video and it's all online, so you can go out there and check all of that stuff, because we've done all the basic chords. I'm going to add another set of 3 chords here that are very important. They're called 7th chords. I'm also going to do some basic stuff. There's going to be some heavy lifting, some boring stuff, but you have to get through it. We are going to learn the notes on at least the notes down here in the bottom part of the guitar today, and how they relate to music and how to read a little bit of music. We're going to go over all 6 strings, so that's going to take some time. So before I even get into that, I want to talk about books. We do need a framework for this particular thing, and I've been doing a lot of ad hoc things because I want to get people initially started on chords that they can start playing tunes with right away, and that's cool. But we do need a framework, and I do have a few books I'm going to recommend here. I'm not selling. I don't get any commission on this. There are a million of them out there, so if you find something you like better, just go ahead. But it's good to have a framework to start with. Now, Hal Leonard has been around. Before I even get into Hal Leonard, this book here, you can get this on Amazon. It's $7. It's kind of like an encyclopedia for chords. You know, I mean, it's everything you need, all the chords, and when you're confronted with a chord, and I'll show you a little bit of something else we call a fake book. When you're trying to learn something from a fake book, you might see an odd chord like a F minor 7 or a C minor 7, and there are multiple ways to do that. So this is a good book to start with. So go out on Amazon, just get this book, $7. There you go. And this book here, it's books 1, 2, and 3, again, on Amazon. Simple stuff, something that you can work with, and it gives you a framework, starting with how to hold the guitar, how to read some notes, what the notes are in the bottom part, and it gets into scales as well. So think about this book or this book. This is the book that all freshmen in Berklee College of Music, and I was at Berklee in the early 70s and started with this book. I went to Boston Latin School, and when I was in Latin, I was able to, as a sophomore in high school, start taking some lessons at Berklee, which was great. And I started right on this book, and Bill Levitt was the head of the guitar department in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. He was really sort of a legend in the business. And he wrote these books, and there are 3 different versions of this. This is a little bit more complex. You might want to graduate to this from this, but I recommend both of those highly. Another thing is whatever bands you like, whatever music, if it's the Eagles, if it's Bon Jovi, or who is Bruno Mars today, find a book. These are called fake books. And it's interesting with fake books, and we've done a few of these right now, like Let It Be is a song I think we might have gone over a bit. It kind of tells you the words, tells you the actual notes, and the chords. It's not heavy duty. It's a sort of shortened version of what we might call a full lead sheet. But there are fake books out there all the time. So this is really every Beatles song is in this particular book, which is, invaluable if you like, my age and a lot of guys my age. But then there are books like this with name it, every song in the world that you can think of. And in fact, today we're going to be doing me and my Bobby McGee. Let me find that so we can have that pulled out for a little bit later. But books like this, it gets you started in making music. We're doing some fundamental stuff now, learning chords, but the key about learning chords is to also, learn how to play songs. So we're going to do that one. We won't be doing any Beatles today. And we've got a bunch of graphics we've already scanned in, so I won't be doing the Berklee book either today. But today we're talking about 7th chords. And I think maybe you might remember from a kid being very young and learning do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. So there are 8 notes. That's an octave. Do, 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 C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the first note it's again, like I've said this before, this is not rocket science here. It's pretty simple stuff. If it's a key of C, the first note is C. That's the one. So when we're adding seventh chords here, and we will have videos, graphics of these seventh chords, we are taking the seventh note. What note would that be, boys and girls? That would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay, B is the seventh. And we're going to flat that note. We're going to make it a B flat. So I'll skip over F7 because that's a little difficult. Today we're going to do C7, G7, D7, A7, and E7. Sometimes these are called dominant chords because the chords oftentimes in a, we've talked a little bit about some harmony. We've talked about one chord being a 1. 4 chord in the key of C would be F. The dominant chord resolves. A lot of tension. La, 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 da, la, da. All C7, G7s. But that's a G7 right there. But let me start with a C7. We know C. We've gone over C numerous times. And, you know, a C major 7, I don't want to confuse you, but that's a beautiful sounding. That's just adding that B, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, 7th. Very pleasant sound. But we're talking about 7th chords, which are associated oftentimes with blues. So that C chord, if we flat that 7th note, same form. This is your first real movable chord. This C7, D7, E7, F7, G7. This form with the bass note being the C, that's where the name of the note comes from right here. The same, the name of the chord. C, D, E, F. Yeah, I was going over some of these videos just trying to figure out what I wanted to do today, and it's I'm using the word critical all the time, and this is a critical note, a critical chord. I don't know any chords that aren't critical, so, but this again is a critical chord. You need to know it, you know? Otherwise, you know, you're just going to be playing nice kind of folk songs, but you're never going to rock and roll unless you add 7s. So that's C7. We've got graphics of C7. I'm skipping over F7. Maybe I'll touch on it a little bit because it is pretty difficult. G7, again, if you learn G the way I want you to learn G, not like this. I hate that chord. Some guys use it, you know, for technique, I guess. It's just stupid in my humble opinion after 53 years doing this, 54 years. So, G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, that's key of G. What do we want to do to make it a 7th chord, a dominant 7th chord? Lower that F sharp to an F. And we're going to get into this book, again, the Hal Leonard book today, and talk about notes on exact notes. What is this note? What is this note? We've talked about this earlier. I went over one of my videos and we were talking about that. But really, you got to start, you got to walk before you run. We're just dealing with these 3 frets down here. So this is a G, F sharp. Again, when I learned these as a kid, I just learned the forms. I didn't learn the background. Why is that an G7? But that is it. We're taking that. Most, you know, you have notes, single notes, and then you have, a 1 with a 3. But when you make it a chord, it's 3 notes. So a regular G, G right here, B, D, G, B, G. We're adding another note to this G, B, D triad, and it's called it's an F. Okay, so now we have two seventh chords. Really, to make this a big blues song, we're going to have to add a D7, which would be the 5 of the key of G, right? G, 1, 1, A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, and 5 would be D. And we're gonna, you remember D, you know, from the Who songs? Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. You've heard that before. And then, if D is the name of the note, and C sharp is the 7th, a flat 7 or a dominant 7 is a C. That's the C, D7. Okay, like a real straight blues would be G7, C7, D7, 12-bar blues, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, C7, 2, 3, 4, G7. And again, good way to practice this is to just kind of just play, and we haven't really talked about measures and time a little bit there. And if I do this in quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, G7, C7, 4, 3, 4, 5, 2, 7, 2, 3, 4, D7. Songwriters just play those chords, they mash them up together, they put words in it, and they call them a song. And you know, it's just something to think about when you're advanced. But those are 3 critical chords: G7, C7, D7. And I think we're up to, like, you know, probably 11 or 12 chords right now. When you think about G, D, F, C, A, E, D minor, A minor, E minor, G7, C7, F7. Again, I think we're probably up to 10,000 songs if you can get those particular. The last 2 here, we know an A. Remember 1, 2, 3 across on the 3rd, the 4th and 3rd and 2nd fret. Cool. And this is an A. That's an A note. Take my word for it. We're gonna work on that after I get through these other chords here, and making it flat. Add in the G. You're going to see the video, the graphic. They have a 2, 3. You can do, you know. Okay, so, and one more here is an E7. You remember E? Need sus. We haven't really talked about sus chords much, and I'll get into that eventually. But again, this is an E. This is an E. We're going to make it an E7 by adding that D. A7, E7, A7, kind of a straight ahead blues thing. I'm not introducing B7 today, it's a little hard. So that's it, you know, for the 7th chords. C7, G7, D7, A7, E7. Again, the purpose of these videos is not to go over absolutely every single chord. Again, at the end of the videos, they do list my email. If you have any questions, just email me directly. But I expect you to take what we get from here, practice them inside and out, and then go through the rest of the chords yourself, because F7, that's hard. And B7, it's hard. Maybe we'll get to those eventually. But what we've done thus far, again, G, D, F, C, A, E, D minor, A minor, E minor, G7, C7, D7, A7, E7. I don't know how many chords that is, but that is your repertoire right now. So again, this book, it's sort of an encyclopedia. It's very visual. It's, I mean, it's basic stuff. A 10-year-old kid can take and learn from this. And I've got young students that age, and I've got young students in their 70s who are getting some benefit from this particular book. Okay, now we're going to do some heavy lifting, which is, kind of painful. But it's just, I don't care if you learn how to play golf, if you learn how to play tennis. As I was telling the folks here earlier, it's like, some people just learn the chords, and that's great. It's like being tennis and saying you only do forehand and you don't move left to left. That's great if the ball's coming right at you. But music, gives you curveballs. So you just need to, have a method here, have a framework, and start from the beginning. Everybody wants to be Jimmy Page. Some people may not remember who Jimmy Page is, or maybe Van Halen. Maybe some people don't remember Van Halen. Or actually, Bruno Mars is actually a pretty good guitar player. Actually, Bruno plays he plays drums, bass, keyboards, everything. But you've got to walk before you run. So I don't care what the methodology. We're going to use this one. It's pretty straight ahead. In the first page, we're going to talk about music symbols. And we have graphics of that. That's a staff. That's where notes go. You remember this from second grade? That's a G clef. Why is it a G? Because the way this sort of thing, it ends right on that G note. Okay, we have every good boy does fine or deserves fudge, whatever you want. That's from, second grade at St. Anthony's in Alston. And again, E. That first line there, E, right there, G. And we're going to go in and talk about the corresponding notes on the guitar that correspond to these notes here. B, third line on the G clef here, the treble clef. Okay, 10 minutes left. So I got a lot to go over here in a short minutes of time. Maybe we might go a little bit longer here. Then the spaces. What's that spell? Face, right? Easy stuff. Measures. Oftentimes there are 4 beats in a measure. The notes here, again, this is why, this is to introduce you to this, but you can pick this up yourself, this particular book here. Whole notes gets 4 beats in a measure. So you play 2, 3, 4. That's a whole note. Half notes gets 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter note, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here we go here. Notes on the first string. The first string is the high string, E. Open E, right? That's it. That is it right there. E, F-A-C-E, right? And the next note, F. The graphics will show this as well. And G. And we're going to show the graphics here, which if I'm going to play this right now, I'm going to play this just as it's written. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the second set of notes here. Half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, they wrote it a little differently there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the first note, the first string. Remember that, E string, E, F, and G. The E open, F first fret, first finger, first string, and G the third one here. Notes in the second string here. Okay, B, open B. C, that's C. D. I don't know, does this book show a keyboard? And the keyboard, it's a lot easier because it's very visual. You see that on the keyboard? If you can get a close-up of this, you know, whenever there's two notes together there, that note right next to it is a C. See two notes? And then if you know C, the next one up is, again, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E and F, there's a half step, and B and C, there's a half step. Again, it might be cool to have a, you pick it up in a yard sale, a nice little small keyboard, because everything you learn on guitar can correspond to guitar as well. And again, B string, open B, C, D, and then the B here is the third fret, third line here. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we're doing right here is learning the notes, the actual notes on the guitar, and where they correspond onto as far as real music. Putting half notes, whole notes, and all that stuff together. And I'm going through this quickly because this is stuff you can easily do at home. It's just I tell you, a lot of guitar players just don't do it. They just don't do it. So the third string, G, open G. Great. And A is that second fret, third string, second finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the third string. 3 more strings here. And we will go over this a little bit, guys. So, I don't think that'll be a big deal. So D, open D, first note. E, second finger, second fret of the fourth string. F is that third, again, remember I told you tour of duty, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third fret here on that D is going to be, so this is an open D, 2. I'm reading the number 28 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2. That corresponds to a nice D minor chord, actually. 2 more strings here. The 5th string is the A string. That first note, of course, is going to be an A. I hope you're catching some of this stuff here. And then this book's really cool, so you can actually play some songs that correspond with the notes you're learning. So open A, right? B, and C. I'm going to do number 48 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I screwed that up a little bit, but you get the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 47. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember A minor chord? Okay, so the E string here, E string, again, exactly like the high string. E, F, G. Playing number 51. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, what we went over today, we learned the 7 chords. G7, C7, D7, A7, E7. We learned the notes on the first string, E, F, G, and then in the second string, B, C, D. Third string, G, A. Fourth string, D, E, F. and then the fifth string, A, B, C, and then the sixth string, E, F, G. Okay, so I'm going to take you out on a great song. A new movie just came out about Elton John. It got great reviews in the Boston Globe today. I'm looking forward to it. And funny song about this song, your song. I think I'll admit that the statute of limitations are over. When I was about a 15-year-old kid, Elton John was not famous at all. So I thought I was pride myself on being cool and listening to the underground music. And I was going out with a young lady at the time who really wasn't in on the underground music. So I learned this song, and I might have said that I wrote this song, and then it became a big hit, which was very embarrassing. But I still play it today in my acoustic duo. We were going to go over me and Bobby McGee. I'll do that next time, and that's it. We did the 7 chords, and we did the learned a little bit of the notes down here. Guys, get these books, practice along with me, email me if you have any questions, and we'll take it from here. I'll try not to kill you with my voice, which is not great. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but more if I did. I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I were a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions and a traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. And maybe it's quite different, but now that it's done, hope you don't mind that I wrote down these 4 words. How wonderful life is, there's joy in the world. I'll end it here. Hope you don't mind that I wrote down these words. How wonderful life is, there's joy in the world. Thank you. Come back next time. Finito, Benito.